Hello, everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And welcome. Happy Saturday, you guys. Thanks for being patient.
It's the weekend.
It's the weekend. Woo. Yay.
And it's Moon Knight Day, where we get to talk about the spoilers of Moon Knight.
Yes, we get to talk about Moon Knight, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the latest pair of mini ears that have landed in Avengers Campus / Disneyland. We'll talk about that a little bit more on the show. But first of all, how are you guys? How are you all doing? Welcome. And again, thanks to you. I feel like we should always be really appreciative of you guys' patience because, you know, I know often because of tech stuff, we're just us running late in general. You guys have always been super patient and you just kind of hang out and wait. So we appreciate that. Is our stream looking okay?
I think it's all up and running well. Of course, we're from what I can hear, we have good volume, and we also have I was, for some reason my thing was back a little bit.
Okay.
So I was like, why aren't we going? Why are we? Oh, we're not live.
Oh, right.
I wasn't live.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope. I think we're all good.
Okay, so we do have a super chat from Marvin Martin that we will get to in just a bit. But first, I feel like we should talk about kind of what's sitting on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have heard us talk about Liquid IV, and it's not like we were talking about them. We weren't sponsored or anything like that. They weren't sending things to us. Oh, somebody I think just
super chat.
Yes, for Marvin. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much,
just
Marvin.
Popped up. It takes a second. I bought the Liquid IV because I saw it on somebody else's, I don't know if it was Instagram or social or whatever, and they kind of talked about it, and I was like, you know what? I am really bad at hydrating myself. I kind of live through coffee and boba, and yes, you can kind of make the argument that they are liquids, and they are made from water, but it's not the direct source of water.
It's kind of like trying to rehydrate yourself with alcohol. You know, it doesn't quite work very well.
Not at all.
So,
I mean, not as bad.
I have to admit, we bought some of these before, and there was a time when I was like, I woke up in the morning, I had a headache, I wasn't feeling good. I took one of these, and as soon as I had finished the glass, I actually started feeling a lot better. So we actually started drinking this more and more often.
Yeah,
and
I kept on buying them from. You can get it off the internet. You can get it from Target in stores. I'm sure Costco has them. I'm not sure about Costco, but I'm pretty sure Walmart has them. Your regular supermarket. Actually, our supermarket, Ralph's, was actually sold out of it for a while. So in any case, so we just started getting them, like, you know, subscribe and save because it was easier. But Liquid IV actually contacted us, and they're like, hey, do you guys want to try out more flavors? And we're like, yeah.
Sure.
So they sent us a bunch of different ones. We actually got to pick them. So we got 2 big packets. This is the watermelon one that I am currently drinking, and it's clear. It doesn't have, like, coloring in it. I mean, it's a little bit cloudy because the powder is white, but there is that. So this is the watermelon flavor, and Dustin's trying the...
I'm trying this actual one, the citrus one. This is, honestly...
It's tangerine.
The tangerine one. This actually tastes very similar to, like, say, an Emergency.
This one?
So it has, like, some vitamin C's in it, and some Wellmune and zinc.
Okay.
So it does have kind of a citrusy vitamin C flavor, which is pretty nice. I do like the flavor on these. It does add like a little bit of a thickness to your water. So
thickness to your water?
I think it does, in my personal opinion.
Okay.
So it feels like it's doing more work.
Oh, I see. So what's cool about the tangerine one is that Dustin mentioned already, it has immune support. So there's vitamin C in it, and there's zinc in it. So, you know, I think as we kind of go back to theaters, go back to conventions, this is something that you might want to take with you because you can stay hydrated, it tastes good, and it's got vitamin C in it. And then we've got a couple of other ones that are just your hydration multipliers, and they use this really cool technology for the delivery system. They call it the CTT, which stands for Cellular Transport Technology, which gives you kind of basically, it helps your system absorb that water better than you would when you don't drink normal water. Yeah. And also, like, I find normal water boring sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
having some kind of flavor in it is always helpful.
Like, it's important.
This is something that we were buying before, and then they said, "Hey, you want some free stuff?" We're like, "Sure."
Yeah. So they're like, "Do you want to give it a try?" When you say it like that, free stuff, I feel like it's kind of.
Well, that's what they did. They gave us different flavors to test them out.
Yes.
So I like it.
We have a couple of other flavors as well. We haven't tried these yet. We have a passion fruit one, and we have a acai berry one. So we'll try those. And these are just the hydration multipliers, and they're really, really great. And the packets look like this. They're little like this. They just kind of, you just pour it into your water. It's 16 ounces, which is what this cooler, not a cooler, but this thermos, this glass jar holds 16 ounces. So it was really easy to just mix it up, and it not melts, but it dissolves really quickly. Anyways, we're trying them out. We're going to try all the different flavors, so we'll report back how we like them. Watermelon tastes really refreshing. Tastes just like, I feel like I'm like drinking like a less sweet version of a Jolly Rancher.
Oh yeah.
Like I love the watermelon flavor. So if you guys are interested in trying it out, and I don't know how well I did this. I didn't do it well at all. Did I? No. Oh, kind of. Okay. So Liquid IV has given us a coupon code. If you guys want to try it out yourself, you can just use the code The Movie Couple, and that'll give you 25% off of whatever you purchase on the website, plus free shipping, which is really, really important. Because you know how sometimes shipping, they charge you an arm and a leg, but with the code, you can get free shipping. So if you try it, tag us, let us know which flavor you end up trying, and now we can stay more hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
I don't know if I told you guys, I was so dehydrated once I was hospitalized.
Oh really?
Because I was very young. This is when I still lived in Florida, and I just like didn't drink water. And my mom's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know. Water doesn't taste that good."
But now we can make it taste better.
Now we can make it taste better with some Liquid IV. We'll do a little cheers. And we'll get on with the show.
Yes, there's still, before we get into our spoiler talk of Moon Knight, there are a few things that we would like to discuss.
Wait, hold on. I want to read the comments.
Oh, sure,
Are you going to hurry to get, no, right?
Oh, no.
So, Stardew says, coffee is not liquid, it's a little grainy. And Ashley says, oh, hey, Ashley. Coffee and tea are both diuretics. What does that mean?
Diuretics, it means it makes you go pee, it makes you...
So it dehydrates you.
It dehydrates you more.
Great.
That's the whole joke behind trying to rehydrate yourself with alcohol or coffee or tea.
That's bad.
Because it actually makes you go pee and makes the water go through you.
Terrible. RMD Collective says, Liquid IV saved me during Coachella a couple years ago. Wow.
I bet it would help a lot, especially if you are at like a concert or if you happen to do like, say, the Renaissance Fair.
Yes.
I think having one of those around with you could be very much a lifesaver.
I'm definitely gonna have these in my bag when I go to Star Wars Celebration.
Oh yeah.
So you just take one of these with you, a little water bottle, and add it in, and you can be hydrated. And what's really cool, I didn't order it, but they have one that's energy. So it's kind of like an energy drink, but it's in the same formula as this. So you're hydrating and you're getting the energy. So I think I might have to shop that before I go to Star Wars Celebration. Okay. Before we get into Moon Knight, like Dustin was saying, there's a couple of things that we wanted to chit-chat with you guys about. Mainly, there is one piece of news. I feel like I kind of discussed it a little bit already on the John and Wendy show, but... Oh, wait. Sorry. I just want to make sure I scroll down in the chat because I didn't want to lose Marvin's super chat because we're going to get to it. But he's kind of talking about Avatar and deity, so I kind of want to use that to lead into our Moon Knight conversation. So, Marvin, thank you for sending it in. I promised you were going to get to it before we end the live stream, before we get into Moon Knight. So, we know that the merger or the business deal between WB and Discovery has closed, and now there's talks. It's not confirmed because I don't believe there was actual comments or confirmation from anybody at WB or Discovery, but it looks like they're going to be exploring possibly an overhaul of DC Entertainment. I honestly don't really know how I feel about it. A part of me kind of reading the article on Variety thinking it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to find somebody who has kind of can assume a position similar to that of a Kevin Feige in the MCU. But then I read further in the article that they were looking for less of the creative mind and looking more of the business mind, and I think that could be a misstep.
Yeah, they
need Kevin Feige is creative first. He has a whole team to worry about the business portion of it. And he's somebody who gets comics and understand the world and understand what the fans would like to see. And I think if DC is going to appoint somebody in a position like that, I think they need to maybe adjust the direction they want this position to be. Like, less
Yeah.
business, more creative. It's just my opinion.
Honestly, that's what I think. That from when I was reading the article on Variety, I was very much it looked like what they're going to do is take DC and make it its own entity, which I think is very, very smart. Because I think one of the big problems that DC is constantly running into is when they do have a lot of executives, CEOs, or bigwigs coming in wanting to put their finger in the pie, so to speak. Everyone wants to be like have their own little recipe. They all want to throw their ideas in there, and that is when you really, really suffer. I think making it its own little thing, kind of like how Marvel is a part of Disney, but it is its own separate kind entity. Making DC a part of Warner Brothers, but its own separate company, and then putting one person in, someone that they trust, someone that has proven that they can handle this kind of material, because DC is huge, and I want to see DC succeed so bad. I want them to bring out. I want them to be bringing out, be on their 24th, 25th movie, and having all of these things connect in some way, shape, or form, or having some kind of a cohesive story arc.
Yeah.
I think is something that DC, one, deserves, and two, the fans are gnawing at the bit to get.
Yes.
I mean, everyone is like, bring in the Zack Snyderverse, honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing a Snyderverse. Snyder. It's me
trying to say Zack and Snyder.
I'm dyslexic, so I'm flipping around those two letters. But for somehow being able to have one person be able to spearhead everything and coordinate it and be like, this is kind of the path that we're going to go down, I think is really smart. And to limit the amount of how many other people who want to be in the editing, or where the, in the room where the sausage is made, so to speak.
Sure.
Limit that down. I think having just a specific crew that is their main focus is DC, and that's it, is smart. So I'm hoping that's kind of the direction that they're going down.
Yeah. So we'll see. Like, the reason why I feel a little iffy is because they're talking about an overhaul. So, like, does that mean we kind of scratch away and just pretend the other ones don't exist, where we pretend that it's a part of the multiverse and we start anew again? And that's kind of the problem, is that they never had somebody who was able to roadmap it out, and that's a huge task. And whoever they potentially choose in this position, if they go forward with it, is people are going to have to listen to their input and maybe put business second. And because when you tell a good story, people will come.
Yeah.
But you got to let the good story able to blossom. And I think sometimes they're afraid of, we don't put this in, we're not going to make money. Money. Right? I don't think Disney was betting on Iron Man making a ton of money, because I feel like if, Sony branding aside, because I know Spider-Man is Marvel and he's probably one of the most popular Marvel characters, like, they could have somehow worked with Sony way back then and kicked the actual MCU off with the Spider-Man, but they waited on that and they let Iron Man do it, and then it was Thor, and you were kind of thinking like, these, like, I don't want to call Iron Man a secondary character, because he's not.
Before the Iron Man movie came out, Iron Man was very much a C-level character. He wasn't as big as, say, Thor or Captain
X-Men.
America or X-Men.
Spider-Man.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, for
Captain
a
Marvel,
good guess,
even.
people were kind of like, okay, fine, you'll take this Iron Man movie and maybe it'll work, maybe it won't.
And look at it now.
Mm-hmm.
Now we love Iron Man. So I feel like, not to say they have to follow like not saying DC has to follow a specific formula, but I think they need to start thinking less about like, how are we gonna make the money, versus let's tell a really good story, let's hook the audience, and let's plant the seed and let it grow. Another thing I worry about with the overhaul is that they kind of established already these characters and the actors being these characters. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, Henry Cavill as Superman. I don't know if he's going to come back. Like, Roka and I were talking about it. How is it that we have had all this and we still haven't had a Man of Steel 2? It's Superman. It's literally the most popular, like most well-known superhero. Like when I first learned about superheroes, you know, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Spider-Man. That's like the first four, and then X-Men kind of came after that when I grew a little bit older, and I was like, "What's this?" So I'm surprised that they haven't given us a Superman. So like, is
And I love Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he does a great job.
so like, is that gonna stick around, or are they as an overhaul? They're changing everything. So I wonder about that. And again, these are rumors. Nobody's confirmed that they're going to do it, but there is in conversation, of course, because when you do a merger with another company, when one company buys out another, people tend to want to have the power and control. So I think that's what we're kind of seeing here.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But
so I think making it separate, you have the people who are in charge are the only people in charge. I hope that what they're planning helps them be able to make more movies. Because I just want to see, honestly, more good DC movies. That's it. So whatever they can figure out, whether it's a format like Marvel or completely different or a little bit of this and a little bit of that, whatever they find that works for them, I'm happy. I just want to see more DC movies.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Vanja. Vanja is here. I feel like we haven't seen Vanja in a while. Welcome
Vanja!
back.
Hey, how's it going?
Ashley says here, the problem with the entire WBDCEU issue is that they are trying to compete with Marvel, trying to do things too quick, no overarching goals. And I think that's I don't feel like there's a need to compete because DC Comics, the stories and the characters are so good already. They were already good. You didn't need to compete. So I think they just needed to take the time and I think Ashley says here, like they're trying to like hurry up and like put this out so we can maybe not one up, but we can have something that's also competitive to like their superhero. We have superheroes too. It's like, yes, you do, but like let's make it a cohesive universe.
There's something to be said about taking it slow. Taking it at your speed, trying not... I mean, honestly, DC, just forget about Marvel. Just do your thing. The things that you're good at. The things that we want to see more of. The things that you guys want to make. And go at your own pace. Put out the movie. Make sure it's kind of like planned out and structured. But we even saw things like this with Star Wars. To where they were like, yeah, we're going to just throw this story out there and not really think about, well, what are you going to do at the third movie? So, and to where you're like, oh, wait, we didn't plan this out, and everything falls apart.
Yeah. Didn't they try to get, like, what's his name, Jeff Johns, to, like, kind of oversee sort of, like, their version of, like, a Kevin?
Something like that.
And I was kind of like, okay, well, he's kind of into comic books, but then it didn't
quite pan out.
It didn't really pan out, so.
But, honestly, I feel like this news, since it is still a rumor, if it is true, is good news. I think them making the distinct decision to be like, okay, you know what? Let's start from the ground up and make DC their own thing. We'll build it and just work on a good foundation and work our way up.
Yeah.
Because I want to see this. We've been dying to see this. I want to see Crisis on Infinite Earth come to the big screen. I want to see Flashpoint Paradox, even though I think we're getting a version of that in the Flash movie. I want to see all these amazing DC stories. I would love to see The Killing Joke someday come to a live action movie. So the only way you're going to do that is if you build a strong foundation of whatever foundation you want. There's a million different ways to do it. And slowly build your way up.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this and see if it pans out, or if it's just talk and they just kind of let the DCEU be kind of what it currently is, and they don't necessarily have to connect. And again, if you tell a good story, I'm here for it. Let's go ahead and move on to the next thing that I really want to talk about. And it's kind of a light news, and then we're gonna get to Marvin Super Chat and into Moon Knight episode 3. So I posted in our Discord yesterday I saw it on my TikTok. So naturally, I couldn't stitch the video and I couldn't duet the video on TikTok, but so I just saved it and I did a green screen over it. And they have released these new Captain Marvel ears at Disneyland. I'm not sure if they're at Disney World. So far, the posts I saw are people saying it's available at Disneyland, which makes sense because Avengers Campus, is there. Walt Disney World doesn't have that yet, or if ever. So, because I think there's the theme park thing, because Universal Studios Orlando has Marvel in their park. So I don't know if that means like Disney can. I'm not really sure how that works. So if you guys know, put that in the chat. So I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, Captain Marvel ears. What took so long? Right? So I clicked on the video to watch. And the ears itself is great. It's basically got her costume, like, you know, the star with the blue and the gold and the red on both of the ears. On the flip side, it says higher, further, faster. And I was like, okay, that or something like that. And I was like, okay, that's super cute. In the middle, normally for a pair of mouse ears, I have so many, so let me show you.
Wendy has quite the color. I'm pretty sure there's people out there who have like whole rooms filled with mini ears.
I am a mild case as far as
ear
collection goes. Because they don't always they don't feel great in the back of the ears, so I don't wear them that much. But for a typical pair of mouse ears, normally, not always, but like 90% of the time, they have a little bow in the middle. So instead of the bow on these Captain Marvel ears, they decided to put her blonde mohawk in there because when you know Captain Marvel, when she puts on her outfit and it's like the full spacesuit, it's like the white eyes, and then she's got that like the hair comes through on the top, kind of giving her like a mohawk look, which looks great. So these ears were trying to emulate that, but they didn't use like actual hair. They didn't make it plastic. It's like the fuzzy, how you would see it on a stuffed animal, like that synthetic fuzzy, almost like Muppet hair.
It does. It looks,
and
honestly,
it's just a tough, and it's not removable.
If you get a chance to go to Wendy's TikTok.
Yeah, it's just Wendy Zaney on TikTok.
Her reaction is perfect. Honestly, it's like, ooh, they look, what the heck is that?
Ashley says troll hair. Yeah, like treasure trolls. Like that.
It does. It really does kind of look like troll hair.
It reminds me also of, if you go to Knott's Berry Farm, you know the character Peanuts? Mm-hmm. Woodstock. Woodstock. They have a cute little, like, Woodstock headband, and it has a little tufted yellow hair, but it makes sense because Woodstock, that's kind of like the aesthetic.
Yeah.
But with Captain Marvel, I don't understand why they chose. I don't mind that they chose the mohawk. I think that could have been really interesting, but I don't know why it was the fuzzy hair that looks like.
It looks really bad.
And it wouldn't work with most people's skin types and or hair color. If you have any other hair color other than blonde, it's gonna look really weird on you.
Even if you have blonde, it is
right,
like a
yellow.
Lemon yellow.
It's like
blonde.
Tweety.
It's like Tweety. Yeah, it's like
Tweety
a Tweety
yellow.
bird, or it's like Woodstock. It is a cartoon yellow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no one has this hair color. No one dyes their hair this color.
They could have just gone with the bow, just a yellow bow with freaking her emblem in the middle or something else.
Or make it so the mohawk can detach.
Yeah, so
like
people,
you can actually like snap it on and then snap on the bow.
Yeah, so people are like, oh, you can cut it. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't want to spend $30 to mutilate the ears that I just bought. It doesn't make sense. So
nope.
I was quite disappointed because we already don't have enough, in my opinion, Captain Marvel, like wearable merch. There's like some of the kids stuff. They have backpacks and stuff, but nothing new. The things that's been there for a while. So I'm just very disappointed in those pair of ears. I can't seem to, if I Google it, it doesn't come up, but it is in our Discord under Theme Park, the channel, so go ahead and check those out. I thought of Debbie, because I know Debbie also is a fan of Captain Marvel, and she says in the chat here, I wish they hadn't put the blonde hair in the middle. The hollow star would have been enough. Make the star as a bow. And then Grifton Wow says, Etsy creators seem to have done a better job. I agree. I often buy from Etsy creators.
This is funny. You can tell when Disney doesn't steal the idea. You're Etsy. Like, this is obviously something not that from Etsy or something, because since it's their property, they can be like, hey, that's a good idea.
Disney,
we're just going to do
it.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, the ears are just not. I just had to
talk about it because I'm like, who okayed all of this? Because it's got to go through several design approvals.
Yep.
Before they say, okay, yes, mass produce. And like, look, if you like the mohawk and it looks great on you, I'm so happy for you. I'm glad it works for you because it's never gonna work for me. Can you see like the yellow tuff sitting on me on this bed of dark hair.
It's just not gonna work.
No, but the ears are super. Like the ears itself, the design is cute. Just the mohawk was a no for me. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, Debbie has some resources on where to get more Captain Marvel merch. So hit her up on Discord if you are looking for some Captain Marvel merch. All right, should we go ahead and move on to Moon Knight?
Yes, let's talk about Moon Knight spoilers.
Moon Knight spoilers.
Because this, ladies and gentlemen, was a fun episode.
Yeah, we're talking episode 3, so we do want to warn you guys, since we are talking spoilers here, if you haven't seen episode 3, probably gonna get spoiled for you. If you don't mind, feel free to stay. If you're like, oh my god, my ears, I haven't watched the episode yet, feel free to come back to this video later on. And while you're at it, if you're watching us live right now, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Really helps us out with the algorithm and becoming more visible here on YouTube. So, with that said, ooh, I like that. Debbie says Moon Day spoiler chat.
Moon Day spoiler.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. So, let's go ahead and talk about this. They are now fully in Egypt, and I feel like the rest of the series is going to take place. I don't see them traveling anywhere else.
Yeah.
Like, this is the place to be.
Honestly, after I saw, because we record our reaction, and then when we download, or when we screen cap it, I kind of watch it again. And when I was watching the beginning of this episode, for some reason, I got like the song from Aladdin stuck in my head.
One jump.
And I just had, because that's how it starts off. It starts off with Mark running through the streets of, I guess, Cairo or Jordan. Mm-hmm. And him just sliding through, doing some parkour. And I was kind of like, one jump in front of the red line. And so I thought it was a fun action way to start off this episode.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and we all remember in episode 2, Arthur had a conversation with Steven before Steven called out the Moon Knight suit. Just to go back a little bit, because I want to incorporate Marvin's super chat in here.
Yes,
and he revealed that he was at one point in time an avatar for Khonsu himself. Seems to know Khonsu pretty well. Was actually able to kind of predict what Khonsu is saying. It's like, are you telling him to? Is he telling you to kill me?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm justice.
Break his windpipe.
Right. So, Marvin Martin asks via Super Chat, thank you so much to Marvin, if you could be an avatar to a deity,
which deity would you want to be an avatar for, huh? So, honestly, a part of me, since I'm just a huge Marvel fan, I wouldn't mind being an avatar for Odin. I think that would be really cool. Or like being like a Thor avatar. Like if Thor actually could not come down to Midgard, and he had to have an avatar here on Earth, I think Odin or Thor would be really fun.
Nice.
Because then you would have the power of Odin and Thor, or Thor.
I like that.
But if we have to keep it for what is it called, an Egyptian god? I'm not well versed in the Egyptian
I'm not
gods.
as well versed either, unfortunately. So I'm going to default to something that I know growing up, and that is the deities in the Eastern Asian, the Buddhist culture. And there is a deity. She's in a lot of tales. She was like a very kind princess, and this, I think she went on a journey. I can't remember because I read the story so long ago, but she went on a journey of like kind of soul searching. She's very kind. She wants to do better. And her name, the Chinese name is Kuan Yin. And she is just dressed in all white. She's kind of got this very pure vibe about her. She's all about kindness. She took this journey barefoot, kind of her trial before she became a deity, a god, goddess. So I think for me, just because I was so obsessed with her like tale growing up, I would that would be the deity I would like to be an avatar to.
That's
and
a really good one.
Instead of like a fighty, she's just like very kind.
Very kind and able to help people.
And she's
doesn't
still
want to care about vengeance or justice.
Yeah.
It's about be nice and kind to each other. Vanja put in the chat Zeus. And honestly, that is a really good one. Being able to be the avatar for Zeus, be a couple of the Greek gods.
That'd
Pantheon.
Be cool. Yeah.
Someone said, Ashley said Apollo.
Oh,
I think is
interesting.
Zeus and Apollo technically? I'm a little
Greek.
rusty on my Greek.
I believe it's
on my Greek mythology, but I think like Zeus is Roman. I'm not sure. You know what? I'm not even going to say
Zeus is Greek.
Zeus is
is
Greek?
Greek.
Okay. And then
Hercules,
Apollo is the
all
god
that.
of... Apollo is...
God of the sun.
Apollo is Roman, and Zeus is Greek. Okay. I was like, I think they're the same thing. I'm not 100% sure. But we do have a super chat from Marvin Martin.
Another one.
Thank you so much, Marvin. And we also have a super chat that just came in from... I can't read...
Theodore.
Theodore. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much. Marvin writes, Khonshu looks and acts like a Skeksis. It's the long bird-like beak.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. But that's kind of funny because I think the way he acts reminds me a little bit of, and I think maybe it's just the way they present the voice, and maybe it's the way he was like, Crush's windpipe. Reminded me of Venom a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're
And-
kind
and-
of
and I
right.
was
There is a good connection between...
Yeah.
a good kind of comparison between the two.
Yeah, but obviously two very different type of personas. Just like that
Eat
one.
his brain. Crush his windpipe as opposed to eat his brains.
I'm going to eat her. And thank you so much to Theodore for your super chat. Did you want to ask a question or was it just support? Let us know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let us know.
But also, oh shoot, I had a thought and then all of a sudden, pew, out of my brain. Oh, and that one point. So what also I was thinking of Venom a little bit, where so there's all of this fighting that goes on, and there's some points that I want to go back to. But when Khonshu is like, take him to the cliff, and
Oh
don't
my
worry,
gosh.
he'll talk. I thought he would talk.
Dude, let's talk about that because, we were kind of, in our reaction to, we start off with them running through the streets of Egypt. There's a whole one jump parkour moment there. One jump, head of the street, head of the bread line. And obviously right now we are seeing Mark being Mark. But there are some flashes because there's that cool, like, knife fight that happens. But of course, as he gets the knife, it is super reflective for this specific reason so he can see himself and he kind of blinks out and all of a sudden he loses time. A little bit of time passes. Not a whole lot. He's not like losing 2-3 days. He's, losing maybe a couple minutes.
Very much like what happened in episode 1.
Right. All of a
Also
sudden,
in the middle of a fight scene.
yes, always. It's always like the least, the worst time for whether it's Steve or whether it's Mark. So what I found funny was that when they were in the taxi, is like, you're telling me to take you to the airport, so Steve was trying to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, wait, why are you now speaking to me? You were speaking
Probably
Egyptian,
he was probably speaking with a British accent ago, and now all of a sudden, now you speak my language?
It's really, really interesting to see that. But what's really interesting there is we see kind of the flip again, but all of a sudden he is surrounded by some dead bodies. And Mark asks, what did you do, Steve? And Steve said, that wasn't me. So right there and then, we've been kind of suspecting this already since episode 2, and you guys have been saying this in the chats and in the comments as well, that third persona, and that's another hint at it, that according to the comics, it would be Jacob or Jake Lockley. So most likely that is him, but we haven't been properly introduced to that persona yet, and we don't know when. Maybe by the next episode we will get it. We will have to wait and see. But that's interesting because they both seem to be confused as to what happened, because if Mark didn't do it, and we know Steve wouldn't. Steve just wouldn't.
Yeah.
He tried to talk and convince, talk his way out of it, which it seemed like he did, because remember in the taxi that he got out, he's like, and he saw the two guys that he was really fighting. He's like, hey man, just let us go. And it's
well, actually, he said, you just let us, I want to talk to you. You just let us go.
Right. So what is it exactly that Steve said? I really wish they gave us a little bit of flashback on kind of a look at how that played out.
Yeah.
But in a way, I sort of like being shrouded in mystery, because we can kind of in our head build our own little headcanon as to what could have happened. So yeah, take him to the cliff, and the kid was, I guess
he said something like
for Amit
for
or
Amit,
something,
and then
or something like that. 'Cause
cuts
he's a
the
follower.
rope, and he's like, ah. Too bad he didn't get a soul stone out of it.
I mean,
'Cause he fell off.
Oh my gosh. So yeah.
Sorry.
All right.
Sorry, bad joke. Bad joke.
So, Mark was, I feel like he was a little bit pissed about the suggestion that Kansu had about taking him to the cliff. He was a little mad about him believing that the kid would talk and not do. I honestly wasn't expecting it. That was one of the more shocking moments in the show for me, and I was like, "What you do, Mark? What you do?" So we also know that with Arthur, he has the scarab, and he is, with all of his followers, working really hard to try to get to Amit's tomb to dig her up. Another really cool thing in this episode is the Ennead. We got to go inside, and we got to have kind of a trial, if you will. They were going to accuse Arthur of doing what he actually is doing.
You are a deceiver!
I just gotta say, Oscar Isaac's acting in this episode, I mean, he's great in general, but what we've seen of him in Moon Knight in this episode is spectacular, because not only he has to play Mark and Steven, he also has to play Mark being used as a sound box for Kansu. And it's just the way he's acting of like that puppeteer, so it's the over gesture and not able to control, and how much it exhausts him. Like that experience, because he's never, had to deal with that before, exhausts him. And so we have the gods that have gathered. It's not all of them, because the Ennead, I think, makes up of 9.
it was the big ones.
It was only 5,
It was the ones
right?
that Steven pointed out on the poster.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, this show just keeps on getting weirder and weirder. And that does very much connect to the super chat from I'm sorry, I can't read it.
Jalide. Sorry. MJ Allied. I think that's how you say it.
Oh, okay.
And Moon Knight reminds me of WandaVision. I like it more and more. Yeah, absolutely.
The more and more it gets weirder, and the more you're like, wait, what's going on? How is this happening? And the more and more it kind of messes with your mind, I think the better and better this show gets.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to see where they're going with this. I love this whole, because when they're inside the Pyramid of Giza, they are, and Steven, of course, is geeking out. He's like, oh my God, we're actually here. This is amazing. And where Kansu is saying, spare me your self-righteous, I can't remember exactly, self-righteous dribble. You abandoned this realm for this other realm that he mentioned. And I'm like, are we going to be talking about different realms and multiverses? Are we going to have connections to maybe some stuff that might be happening in Doctor Strange? So
my theory still stands that by the time we get to the last episode of Moon Knight, it's going to be revealed something, and I feel like it's going to connect somehow to the multiverse. But we'll see. I find something really interesting in the chat, and I'm glad, Batman, you brought this up, and it says the Madripoor Reef reference was exciting to hear. I jumped when they mentioned it, because, and it makes sense. It totally makes sense, because Layla, before they went, she brought Mark to see, basically to search out for clues to how to find another way to figure out where Amit is buried, is her visiting an old contact friend. We use that term lightly here
because he seemed a little like, hey, good to see you again, baby.
Yeah. So, I
Theodore,
feel like,
thank you so much for your super chat.
We'll get to it in just a second. Thank you so much, Theodore. So, with Layla, having worked with this guy, having some sort of, maybe, dealing with the arts, with the artifacts, and selling and buying and all this and that, very much lines up with what Sharon was doing in Madripoor. So the fact that she did bring up Madripoor, and the fact that Layla can really handle her own, like she can handle herself in a situation, as we saw, I kind of want to go back to that and see if some of the way she moves mimics the way Sharon moves, and how Sharon would train her own team of people. So that's really interesting, and I feel like there could be a connection there, and I'm happy that she mentioned Madripoor, and thank you to the Batman for putting that in the chat, because I would have forgotten to bring that up if you hadn't put it in the chat. And then let's see here. So Ashley's asking, so third personality or Kansu just taking control? It honestly could go either way, but I want to say it's probably the third personality because they've been hinting at it. Sometimes when they do the mirror split images, he's always looking at 3 split images of himself. So, and in the comic there is a third personality. So I'm hoping that they would use that.
Yeah.
And Batman here says, I think we are soon going to find out who that mystery possible third personality is. Yeah, probably the 3rd episode. And Grifton Wow says, was the 3rd alter the one that killed all those people in this with the Scarab in episode 1? I mean,
very possible.
Potentially, we don't really know. Because all we know is that Steve comes back and it's very bloody.
Point.
Yeah, right?
It may not. I mean, this whole time we immediately assume that, oh yeah, it's Mark. It's Mark. But it could very well be that is the 3rd personality that is doing all of the killing, and they might actually have. Kansu and the 3rd personality might have a little bit of a closer relationship because they're more likely. Mark is kind of willing to kill. And the 3rd personality is definitely willing to kill.
I think Mark does it begrudgingly. He does it because he knows if he's trying to finish the job so he can get out of this whole deal.
Yeah.
And protect Layla from becoming his next avatar.
But the 3rd
Jake?
personality might be a little bit more like what Arthur said when Kansu was turned into stone. I enjoyed dealing your justice. To where Jake, or if it is Jake, or whoever they decide to have it be, is like, no. I like this deal.
Yeah.
You point me towards people that I can kill and feel justified doing it, and I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get to have these awesome superpowers. I'm game for this. I can see him doing that. I can see. That's why Kansu might have a really strong hold on Mark Steve's body.
Yeah. Martin S says, plot twist, it was Steve. JK. Can you imagine? It was like we reveal at the end, he's just like maniacally laughing. It was me all along.
We get a little bit closer to those fan theories that we had for WandaVision.
Oh my god, yeah, that'd be so crazy. All right, let me. Oh no, my chat just jumped and I lost a whole bunch that I had lined up. All right. We will go. I guess we will. Is the best time to answer the super chat from Theodore. Theodore, thank you so much for sending a second one. Theodore writes, "I would be the Black Panther goddess Bast's avatar. Could the Black Panther be avatars of Bast?" I hope I'm saying that right.
Oh.
That's what I've tried to put in the other super chat. Sorry about that. Oh, I see. Okay, so I don't have my phone here. Ironically enough, I saw a TikTok of somebody talking about like potentially when in the movie Black Panther, when T'Challa goes into the
ancestral realm.
Yeah, the panther in the tree, the eyes also glow white, and that is an Egyptian, like the panther Bast, like Theodore is saying here, is I think a part of the Ennead. I don't know if you want to search that or what, but like that's very, very possible. And like I said, with these Marvel, like the web reaches so far and so wide within the MCU, like the way they write things, the way they place little subtle things here, maybe connect with one another. We just, as an audience, we don't know until they show it to us on screen, and by then our mind is blown. We're screaming at the screen, and it's a good time in theater. So I like what Theodore is saying here, and I think it's very possible.
And apparently, Theodore is also pointing out that Bast and Kansu are siblings. That's juicy.
Wait a minute.
That makes this a lot more interesting. So
wow.
I'm excited. Honestly, that's what the DC show, Marvel shows are doing very well doing, is the fact that it keeps you going, where are they going with this? How is this going to happen? How is this going to add up? Where is this? And keeps you excited and keeps you engaged. At least for me it does, and I'm just very excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, very exciting indeed. We have a lot of action sequences when Layla and I almost said Steve, Layla and Mark kind of marches to see if they can try to get the constellation map from the sarcophagus, and that's where we get to see, like, once again we get to see a longer sequence of Moon Knight in action. I really loved when he transformed And there was a little bit of arguing back and forth too. It's kind of Layla's like, Steve is better for this job. Give it over. And Mark's like, no,
because I'm not going to get it back.
I got this. So Steve, luckily, being the geek that he is about all this stuff, they were able to play with the reflection of it, and he was able to kind of talk back and forth with Mark about how to get the star maps, and so they were able to take all of them, and that kind of leads them to the next part of their journey, but not before Harrow shows up. How?
Harrow has been on top of everything. It seems like he had this planned. That's the thing about Khonshu, is that he seems to be very predictable, especially to someone who was his avatar. So Harrow knows how Khonshu thinks, how he's going to react. That's why when he was summoned for the gods, he knew exactly what to say and to kind of plead the fifth and be like,
that scene made me so frustrated.
I know,
because he's got a silver tongue and he knows how to.
Fiddle.
Oh my god! And I had a feeling like Arthur is just really good at twisting his words to make it sound like that. He's very convincing with the way his like aura when he walks in, his mannerism and everything. It's kind of like, yeah, sure, he's believable. And I was like, no, he's creepy.
Yeah,
he's creepy.
Unless if you don't know him, then yeah, you would honestly feel like, hey, yeah, you know what? This guy's making some really good points here.
Yeah.
And plus, was it someone earlier in the chat? I just remember seeing it, was mentioning that they felt like the gods believed Harrow a little too quickly.
Yes.
Honestly, I can kind of see them doing that. One, they don't have a good relationship with Khonshu. Two, they actually, what is that called? Banished Khonshu. So three, they're there because Khonshu just did something that made them very, very angry at him. So it doesn't put Khonshu into his good graces. And also he's claiming that Harrow is doing something that is a severe allegation, and he really doesn't have any proof. And then you have Arthur Harrow come in, and he's just like, I used to be his avatar. I know he's gone a little crazy with power and
he was already not in favor in the favor of the other gods already at that point.
Yeah,
like they kind of didn't like him already. So I think the stars aligned for Arthur at this point. But I feel like there's a bigger end game, which we will get to, towards the end of this discussion. But going back to the chat,
and then also the fact that Arthur only had to point out, Khonshu's taking advantage of this poor guy. He is mentally ill, and Khonshu's using him as his avatar to abuse him.
I hated that so much.
And a part of you, as soon as you reveal that looks even worse on Khonshu. So the gods are like, you know what? We've had enough of you. We're not taking any of your accusations seriously. Arthur, you're free to go.
Yeah. I don't know. I was mad about that. I was so mad about that because I thought maybe they had a shot, but they obviously,
nope.
Point goes to Arthur.
Yep.
So we go back to the sarcophagus. They get the star maps. A really cool fight scene plays out. I think one of my favorite visuals from that is when he flew up and then his cape swished up and it made like a little crescent moon and then he swished back down. I was like, that's really cool getting to see, him in action. And it's funny to have, we always talk about Steve trying to come out in the most inopportune moment. So he does. He's like, I got this. I'm going to deal with
Time out.
Everybody, and he gets impaled
He gets stabbed a couple times.
Luckily, it's an armor of healing, so he's going to be okay. But he was like, take the body. I don't want to take the body. I was like, not that easy, is it, Mr. Knight?
Yeah.
So that was interesting. And somebody, I don't think it was in this chat, but I think it was in our comment section, that somebody said, hey, they think that perhaps the third altar came out during that little bit of right before the switch happened, because all of a sudden there were dead bodies on the floor before they showed us that it was Mark back again as Moon Knight. So possibly there was a lot of jumping back and forth, and it really wasn't until I read that comment that I was like, hey, they're right. Went back and watched it. So that's really, really interesting. So, Chris, oh no. Chris Braxton says, no, Oh yeah, this episode was the least favorite of the 3 so far. Oh really?
Aw.
Maybe it's because it was a lot of they're chasing after something. So even though we did get a big action piece, it wasn't. I don't know. I kind of quite liked it. I liked it better than the. I think progressively they're getting more exciting, but that's for me. But
Yeah.
obviously we're all going to stay tuned and we're going to keep watching and see how it ends up. So let's go ahead and get to the next super
Chat.
Thank you to Grifton Wow, who says,
Thank you so much for your support.
thank you. What do you think of the third alter defining personality characteristics will be? A new accent? I can't wait to see what Oscar does. Great question.
Because
Well, we've seen him as
Oscar?
an American and we've seen him as British.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Jake would also be with an American accent.
Probably. I'm thinking
But,
that
like, tougher,
they're going to be.
gruffer.
Yeah. Well, not even tougher.
Batman.
I think he's going to be not really gruff, but that deep, menacing, psychotic. Where you're like, there's something wrong with this guy, to where he's gonna. To where his personality can switch very quickly from calm, cool, collective to kind of. I will enjoy.
Somebody that's a little bit trigger happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am.
But that's a great question. I wonder what Oscar is going to make up.
Go
ahead.
There's actually some people in the chat that are informing us a little bit more about Jake.
Go ahead and read them because I need to stay where I am because there's a couple of comments there.
So the Moon says, wasn't Jake Lockley a New York cabbie? Maybe a New York accent.
Okay.
Jake is from Chicago, Boston accent. So that works.
Okay.
So honestly, giving each character a very defined accent, a very defined character, which is something Oscar Isaac can do very well.
Yes, he does.
So I think that is definitely a strong skill that Oscar Isaac has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is being able to make each one of these characters defined.
It's not easy, guys. It's got to be clear and distinct, and he's doing a really good job. Thank you so much to Steven, who just subscribed.
Thanks,
Guys, throw
Steven.
some popcorn emojis in the chat to welcome, and welcome to the Movie Bunch, Steven. Thank you so much for subscribing.
Popcorn. You know, every
Popcorn.
time someone subscribes, it makes me want popcorn, because since we throw so many in there, I'm like, I want to go to the movies or I want to go to Disney just to get popcorn.
Disney popcorn's no joke. It's really good.
I love Disney popcorn.
Okay, I wanted to read a couple of these ones because we were talking about the connection possibly between Black Panther and Moon Knight. So BJ Gray 7 says, yeah, Bast is Bastet, the Egyptian god. So there's a connection there. And then Ashley says, Layla's necklace, thoughts? Oddly moon-shaped.
And she also was able to break it apart and stab that guy in the chest with it.
See, that's very much like Sharon, like, you know, secret agent type of a, like, unassuming piece of, like, statement necklace. Bet you didn't know this was a freaking weapon. And I like the sort of the moon, the moon shaping incorporated in there. But she's also, her character's from Egypt. It was established, you know, they were making her fake passport and having that conversation of like, so you're really going to go back? And she hasn't gone back in a while. So I think it makes sense for her to have, you know, and if she dealt with arts and artifacts and things like that, I think it makes sense for her to have something like that to... So you basically, Layla is not somebody you can underestimate, but I did like that.
I love
they
that
tied
too.
in the moon
She seems
shape.
she seems, you know, very knowledgeable. She knows her Egyptian. She knows her artifacts. But yet she can also kill you with her necklace. So I love her. I think she's a great character. Also, we got to see a lot more of her at the very beginning with her her nanny, that woman that's able to make all those fake
family
passports.
friend, perhaps.
Family friend.
Definitely knew
That's
his father. Definitely has a very close relationship with Layla. And speaking of that, thank you to Sean Banks for putting this in the chat. Will Layla be able to forgive Mark if/when she finds out about his other personality killed her dad? Because Mark clearly knows about that.
Wait. Mark's...
So it was Arthur revealed that to Layla when they were at the sarcophagus. Like, did you tell her about that little secret about the burial site and what Mark did at the burial site? her dad happened to be there.
Oh, he said. Oh, I thought he was leading that he knew what happened to her.
That's
dad,
what he was alluding.
not the fact that he actually did it.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know if he's hiding it from her. He loves her. That's his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be pretending that I did it, but I can't tell you because you'll hate me forever. Or I didn't do it, but I knew about it, and I still can't tell you because you'll still hate me forever.
So there's still okay.
So we don't know. It's kind of up in the air, but he definitely had a hand in it one way or another.
Yeah.
So either he did it, or an alter did it, or he was there and he didn't stop it from happening. We're not sure. We're gonna find out. But Layla's gonna be pissed.
I guess it very much is a possibility that it was one of I'm just going to say Mark's. One of Mark's personalities that did kill her father. So it's not really Mark that did it.
Yeah.
It's
oh no,
probably
it jumped
Jake.
again. The chat, I just lost everything that I saved up. Man, I had a bunch of things I was going to read. All right, it's okay. Let's see. I see the emojis. Noelle says 8 days until CinemaCon. That's cool.
Woohoo. I've never gone to CinemaCon.
Maybe next year. I forgot to apply this year, so we didn't get to go, but maybe next year. Debbie says episode 4 allegedly tells all.
Oh, cool.
Okay. Let's see here. What else? So they get the star map. And they kind of drive off into the desert, and it is time for Steve to shine, because this is Steve's realm here.
Yep, Steve's the nerd. He knows all of the star maps. He knows all the puzzles. He's all the geeky stuff.
Yeah.
He's got it.
So what was really cool about that scene is, Steve, and I can really see Layla. Somebody said it in the chat too. I lost it. I was going to read it. But it looks like, Layla was married to Mark previously. She obviously didn't know about Steve. She didn't really understand. I guess Mark didn't tell her about the DID. So she only met Steve when we met Steve. But there's some sort of, I can see the connection between her and Steve, because he's more tender. He's geeky. He's into the literatures and the studying. And I think, he's very honest, and he listens to her.
Yeah.
And
I'd never divorce you.
It's so cute. So I can see Mark maybe being a little jealous of that too. So I'm curious to see how I want to see how each of the alters, what kind of relationship they have with Layla, and how she feels about them. She seems
and
kind
also I'm wondering. I wonder if that would be funny too.
What?
If there's a moment to where she kisses Steve or shows affection to Steve in some way, and then Mark doesn't like it.
punch himself in the face. How dare you, Boo!
That's my wife. That's my wife too.
He'd be so speaking of that, the switch back and forth, there was that really, really quick moment in this episode of Mark going to Steve in the desert, and that was so subtle, yet so quick, and it was so distinct. Applause all around for Oscar Isaac, because that was amazing. The way he holds himself completely changed. Obviously, we know the voice, not just speaking in a British accent, but it's a higher register in the voice, a little bit more in the head, versus I think Mark is it's a little bit more kind of like Oscar himself, or maybe a little bit like Paul Atreides in a way. So not Paul. Paul is Timothy Chalamet.
Oh yeah.
What is his name?
Wait, who you?
Leto Atreides, right? It's what I'm thinking. So, from Dune, his character from Dune.
Oh yeah.
That's what Mark kind of reminds me a little bit more of, that guy in charge. He's a mercenary. He's seen some things where Steve is, very lovable, very easy to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see. So yeah, we line up the stars, and we find out that, hey, as it turns out, it's not just you kind of have to, you can't just line it up like this. You gotta dial it back a couple thousand years. So Khonshu really flexed his power there.
Yeah, and what was it? And someone said it in the chat, but it was a long time ago. That moment to where he says, "I remember every night," to where there was such an air of sadness in Khonshu's voice.
Oh yeah, I saw that earlier. It was a long time ago.
I remember that night. And here, I can show you that night. But then he's also like, tell Mark to come and rescue me. This is not going to go well for me.
He knew he had to get this done. Mm-hmm. So we will see what happens. But I thought cinematically that was really cool looking. Of like... And a lot of people in the comments of that reaction video is asking, do you think other Avengers saw that? I was like, I don't know if you
I think every single person in the world...
I don't know if you can miss that.
And a part of me is also like... The people of the MCU, the normal everyday people, have got to be so... Hey, look, there's something weird in the sky. Must be Tuesday.
Yeah,
so
for
to
real.
where, I mean, they have a huge celestial in the middle of the ocean. 50% of the world's population snapped back, and then 5 years later snapped back again. They've got superheroes, supervillains. They have portals opening up to other dimensions to let in alien armies, to where you're just kind of like, gotta go. You know what?
It's like,
nothing's.
I'm
what
still
is it?
here.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Multi-dimensional cracks in the sky.
Yeah, for Spider-Man.
For Spider-Man.
And who knows what we're going to see in the MCU. So people will be like, I mean, I would move, but like, where do I move to where I'm safe?
Yeah.
Because it's all over the world.
And there's just got to be a moment where you see that and you got to be like, that can't be good.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just wait for the human gods to show up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad for all of the stress and anxiety and just outright just everyday heart attacks.
Yeah.
That the people of the MCU have to go through.
So something really interesting here in the chat. This is from Knight Josephine, who says, what if Mark died with her dad instead of killing him, but he thought one of his altered killed his dad? I think the first part of that is really interesting. What if Mark died with her dad instead? Because did Khonshu not say, and I can't remember if this is episode 1 or 2, because they're kind of blending together, he said, you were a corpse when I found you.
Oh, yeah. Well, if I'm not mistaken, in the comic books, Mark actually does die in front of the statue of Khonshu. Then he comes back to life. So he technically was dead, comes back to life, and then takes the cloak of Khonshu off of the statue.
So, but what if it is that? That's what happened at the dig site.
So he actually died?
He actually died, so it's like, how do you explain that to Layla?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I was trying to fight and protect, and he still died.
But I died.
Or I mean, I don't know. I don't know if they've already explained this in the comics, or they're going with a different new story.
I'm also very curious on, when did the DID actually start to kick in? Did he have it before he became Moon Knight? Did it happen before the tragedy with her dad? Is that like the traumatic event that made his personalities crack? And then then Khonshu was like, this man is perfect. I will use him as my avatar.
Yeah.
Or is it the fact that Khonshu used him, and that's what caused the break? I'm excited to find out the exact series of events on what caused and who actually was the original owner of Mark's psyche. Mm-hmm. If it was Mark, if it was Steve. Well, it probably wasn't Steven, but it might be. You never know.
We will find out. So basically now they have the location of the burial ground of Amit, her tomb. So I guess that's where we're going to head to in the next episode. Did you see something?
Oh, I love Chris Braxton's comment. I would love to see a mention of Apocalypse while they are in Egypt. And
played
it could be
by Oscar Isaac.
Played by, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot that was Oscar Isaac. But that would be awesome too. But it would probably be a completely different
Yes.
Apocalypse. And I think they would have to make it a completely different looking Apocalypse as well.
Yes. We got a super chat from Brant.
Thanks, Brant.
Wolgacho's Lucky Slot channel. I'm not sure when it came in because the notification didn't go up, but thank you so much for sending in a super chat. Brent says, I started...
there it is.
There it is.
A little late.
Brent says, I started watching and subscribing to you guys during WandaVision. Oh my gosh, you've been with us for a bit, huh? 2020. Love you guys, and it's so nice you are fans who are well versed in the MCU verse. We love the MCU. We may not know the comic book back and forth like some of you guys in the chat, but we do love the MCU, and we've literally have watched every single movie. Some we've liked more than others, but we, watch them nonetheless because they all somehow connect to each other. But nonetheless, Brent, thank you so much for your support. I'm glad you stuck around, and we hope that you are enjoying our Moon Knight reactions.
And also, that's one thing that I do love about our community here is the fact that we're very supportive. The fact that between us all, with our powers combined, we're able to figure out, different knowledge, different comic book history, comic book lore, and I just love the conversation that we're able to have with our community.
Yeah. Absolutely. We love you guys.
Yay.
So I was trying to get my Discord up. That's why it looked like I was detached.
Oh yeah, and so if you guys actually want to be a part of the conversations that we have, all of our nerdy talk, all of our pop culture talk, what we're listening to, what we're eating, talking about theme parks, come and join us at our Discord. We only have one rule, and that is be nice, be polite to each other. If someone loves something that you don't like, that's perfectly all right. If someone hates something that you love, perfectly all right. Just be nice to each other, be able to have a nice conversation, and definitely no kind of hate speech or
if we
anything
see that,
like
we're
that.
gonna get you out of here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link in the chat. There we go.
So if anyone wants to join us on Discord, go ahead and click the link below and join us.
Ashley says, "Don't be a butthole." Exactly that. Exactly that.
No, that's a very, very good point. Don't be a butthole.
Don't be a butthole. So what are you hoping to see in the next episode? What are you guys hoping to see in the next episode? Sound off in the chat, and we will read them aloud.
Okay, let me think here. What are some of the things that I would like to see? So I'm assuming that they're going to be going to Amit's tomb. So there's going to be a lot of Egyptian references.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that we get more action. I'm hoping that we get a little bit more psychedelic, just mind messery about Mark's personalities. A little bit more history about Amit. Maybe a little bit more history about Khonshu's and Mark's relationship. The series of events that led up to that. So yeah, those are the kind of the things that I'm excited to see. Especially maybe they release Amit and we get to see the crocodile goddess. And
possible.
Does she have a connection to the multiverse? We probably won't find that out though
until the very end.
Until the very end.
End credit scene. I would like to meet the third altar. That's what I would like to see.
Yes.
If they're able to show us Jake, if it is going to be Jake, we're all assuming they literally have not mentioned his name, so we don't know. But according to the comics, that is the third personality altar. So I'd like to see that, or I want to get a little bit of flashback of during these time jumps when they're switching out characters, what's happening for the other whoever is out at that moment. During the Scarab scene, the first time we saw the switch happen with the car chase around the mountain, things like that. I kind of want to see the flip side of that when they switch. Who is currently out?
That would be cool.
I think that'd be cool, but I just feel like they don't have time to do it because we're on next week is episode 4. Next week is episode 4. It feels like we have a lot more to go, but we only have 6 episodes this season.
Yeah, that means we're already halfway done.
Yeah.
That happened fast.
Yeah. Aryan Singh says, in episode 4, I want to see what other dope accessories / weapons Layla owns. Yes. I thought the necklace was really cool. I feel like Shop Disney or somebody is getting ready to make that into a thing that we can actually buy.
Yeah.
And take apart.
It makes sense. That's some good merchandise there.
Yeah. Grifton Wow says, I think it would be amazing to do a whole episode from Layla's point of view. That's interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Watching Mark switch between altars. There is no suit, so it would be all over Oscar swapping characters mid-conversation. I would love to see that.
If I'm not mistaken, there's also a moment in the comic books where Spider-Man is talking to Moon Knight, and he goes, hey, Mark, and then Moon Knight goes, oh, I'm sorry, it's not Mark, it's Jake. Okay, hey, Jake, no, it's Steve now. okay, hey, Steve. No, back to Mark.
Yeah.
A part of me wants to kind of see something like that where Moon Knight does kind of show a little bit of a sense of humor.
Yes.
So he's not just, oh, justice and vengeance.
Yeah. Debbie says Rock Love. Rock Love, I imagine they could put out maybe something similar to Layla's necklace. Rock Love is a geek jewelry small business brand, but they make super high quality jewelry. I have a ton, not in this room, but I have a ton. Thank you, Debbie, for mentioning them because she could potentially do it. And that would look really cool. Let's see here. SoCal Pals here. Welcome to the chat, you guys. Good afternoon, guys. And can't wait for Doctor Strange 2. And also, we love the new Fantastic Beasts movie. Oh, good. I'm glad you got to see it and you liked it. It's my favorite one out of the 3. Yes. All right. Anything else you want to read aloud?
Knight Josephine. I don't know if you mentioned this earlier. It could have been someone else. But yeah, someone also mentioned that there was somewhere in this episode a Kang Easter egg. Did I completely miss that?
I missed that completely. So you guys remind us of that, if you will.
Let me see if I can go back and find out who said.
Oh, that's like, it was a while ago. I saw it and then I lost it, so I didn't have time to grab it.
But almost, if I missed that, I want to go back and find out. Oh, here it is.
Oh, Grifton Wells says it was me with the King reference. So what was it?
Yeah, there was a Kang Easter egg.
What was it, though? Can you tell us?
Yeah, and where? Remember. So I can go back and watch it in the episode.
Yeah.
The kid with the jean jacket.
Did he have it?
Now I'm like, wait. There was a Kang Easter... Yes, there was a Kang...
had Kang on the back. Nuh-uh. Wait, I gotta pull up Disney Plus right now.
We're checking this out now.
Hold on. Can we have timestamp? Do you guys know the timestamp? It's towards the beginning.
Yeah, and plus, all we have to do is find a good shot of the kid's back.
Let me mute it first so they don't...
Or was it on the front of the jacket?
They said back of the jacket.
Oh, okay.
Let me just mute it real quick so you guys don't need to hear. Oh, well, this is episode
wrong
1.
episode.
We're on episode 1.
We want episode 3.
The friendly type.
So the jacket has a Kang print on it.
Okay.
So we got to find a picture of the back. I'm wondering if...
I mean, during the fight, you'll see it. So that's the kid.
Either on the fight,
we're about to start the knife fight.
When, what is it called? The guy's so fancy with his knife work, flinging it up in the air, sliding it on the ground.
Yeah.
And a part of me is kind of like, once he throws up the... Oh, was that a good shot of it?
Oh, gosh. That's going to be hard to...
Kang has an an Egyptian pharaoh.
Oh,
Kang
really?
as an Egyptian pharaoh. Okay, and it would make sense.
Does it look like Jonathan Majors?
Kang would have one of those realities probably be very established in ancient Egypt, because that would be one place for him to actually start his. Oh, it's a live discussion.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Wow, how do people pick that up? That goes by so fast.
Oh, okay. Here you go. Here's a picture of it. Someone. Hold on a second.
Oh my gosh.
It was.
Oh, of course it was New Rock Stars breaking it down.
It was Debbie.
Thank you, Debbie, for putting that in the Discord.
Wow, that is
some keen eye action.
Keen eyes, and that is some sweaty knowledge you got there.
Yes. Oh, cool. Now I gotta watch that fight all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So is it just Easter? Like, does the kid believe it? Well, I guess they're in Egypt, and if that's an Egyptian thing, I guess that's why he would have it in the back. But that's interesting. Everything is kind of
planting those seeds
planting
already.
The seeds, doing what Marvel does. That's really cool. Thanks for letting us know, you guys. That's great. Good to know.
I always love, honestly, and that's another reason why I love this community that we have built here.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you guys are able to educate us on so much stuff, and I love it. Thank you so much.
The watcher in the chat says Kang ruled as Ra in the comics, I believe, in the alternate timeline.
Oh.
Man. Okay, and Grifton says in the comics one of his variants was King Ramatut.
That sounds familiar.
So, a couple of you guys are saying it. Ricardo's saying that. Swagato is saying that. That's crazy.
Awesome.
Well, we're gonna have to watch that News Rockstar
Yep,
video.
I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah,
Get some geeky knowledge.
Yes. And I think with that, you guys, we're going to go ahead and end our live stream here. We will be back next Saturday with more spoiler discussion on episode 4 of Moon Knight. Hopefully the episode will go up accordingly this time.
Hopefully we don't hit some technical difficulties.
Yes, instead of like last week. So fingers crossed on that.
I feel so bad. Wendy was like up until like 7:30 in the morning.
And then I had to get up at I think 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be something similar for this week. Not this week, but the week after as well. Because there's some stuff happening for episode 5. The week of episode 5, I got some crazy things lined up for work. But I'll take it. I can always sleep after. Hey, speaking of which, I don't know how many of you guys have tickets to go to Star Wars Celebration at the end of May. We are confirmed. We are able to go as press, so we will be there. So we're playing with the idea of doing like a meetup on either Thursday night or Friday night, somewhere in downtown Disney. We haven't landed a date yet because there's a couple of people I want to link up with and see if we can kind of do like a multi-channel YouTube channel meetup. But let us know in the chat real quick. If you are going to Celebration, if you'd be down for like a quick meetup, just to come by and say hello. We'll do it in downtown Disney, so it's public space, open, in an open space. So yeah, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
In sync. Sorry, Debbie
So
says, I wish I could go all Debbie.
So if you guys are going to be in the Anaheim area for Star Wars Celebration, we'll be keep your eyes on our Discord. We'll probably post it there, and also, excuse me. Also, what was I going to say?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, that's what it is. So also that Saturday of Star Wars Celebration, we probably will not have a live stream because we are going to either be working at Star Wars Celebration because we got you in, me
TBD on that.
Or I'm gonna find some way.
We'll try to figure out. Maybe we can buy like a day pass for Dustin or something like that.
Yeah.
For some of the days. So Ashley says very far for this guy. Chris says I had to move out of California. It's hella expensive. California is very expensive. It's very expensive.
Yes.
Where
you can get a house here for $2 million, you can get the same house.
You can get a mansion.
You can get a mansion
for $2 million
for like $300.
It's hella expensive.
You can get almost anywhere else. Yeah. So, but that's where we're gonna be for the weekend of the 27th, 28th, and 29th.
26th through the 29th.
26th through the 29th. I'm excited to hear some of the announcements that they're going to do. I'm excited to hopefully be able to get in and see some of the cool stuff that they have.
Heck yeah.
All of the cool exhibits. I have not gotten to go to a con in a very long time.
And we've never been to Star Wars Celebration. We've never gone, so I'm excited to go and see what there is to see. Hopefully we can get into some panels. Hopefully we're able to get into the stores and take a look at the merch. Because I'm pretty sure there's a line to get into the merch, as there always is. So we will see. All right, guys, we love you so much. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to thumbs up this video if you haven't already. We will see you on Wednesday with a regular live stream where we talk more like breaking news, industry news, versus spoilers for Moon Knight. And be well, hydrate with your liquid IV. The code is movie couple for 25% off if you guys, and free shipping if you guys want to give it a try. Highly recommend, honestly. All right, we love you, and we will see you soon.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Bye, everybody.